Hey guys, so we're talking today about our math lesson and it's called The Candy Company. And we will be discussing our tenths and hundredths places. And just for a quick review, let's talk about the place value for our decimal for tenths and hundredths. So for example, in the number 0.12, okay? The 1 is in your tenths place. Remember, we say it like differently than tens. We say tenths. And the 2 is in your hundredths place. Hundredths place. And the way I think y'all best understood when we did this is we talked about this as part of a whole. So for example, if you're talking about $1, a tenth is equivalent to a dime. A tenth of a dollar, it's 10 cents. A hundredth will be equivalent to a penny. Okay, so in our example today, it says the candy company. The candy company is boxing up chocolates. A candy bar fills 1/10 of a box. A single piece of chocolate fills 1/100th of a box. So a candy bar, it has a great example here on your paper, which you have a copy of this in your packet. A candy bar is a tenth. A single piece of chocolate is 100th. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. To pack an order, the candy company fills 87/100ths of a box. I'm going to go ahead and write that down on my whiteboard. 87/100ths of a box. How many candy bars and how many single pieces of chocolate might they include? Find at least 3 solutions. And the best way to describe what we're doing here is we are decomposing 87/100ths. So for example, one way you could do this is you can take apart the number 87. That's probably the most simple way. You could say 80 hundredths plus 7 hundredths. And if you remember when we were in class together whenever that was, 80 hundredths is equivalent to 8 tenths, just like that. Okay, remember that's equivalent. So therefore, 8 tenths plus 7 hundredths equals 87 hundredths. So that could be one of your examples to show 87 hundredths, okay? Now, but it does not just want one example, it wants 3 examples of how to show this. So, let me erase real quick. And you can use, I have counters out here if this works better for you. So if you had 87, I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 7 of these little guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's 87 hundredths, right? Now, we talked about this in class when we were together. 1 rod is equal to 10 of the little guys, right? So instead of saying I can take 10 of the little guys. So you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now we have 7 tenths and 17 of the little squares, that's called hundredths, 17 hundredths, and together that is still 87 hundredths, because remember that 7 tenths is equivalent to 70 hundredths, okay? So that's another way we can make 87 hundredths. Now, I want you to figure out on your own a third way of how to do 87 hundredths, all right? And make sure you show your work on the paper showing, and you can either draw pictures, like we have some pictures here. They have some examples shown here. But you can think about how we're going to decompose that 87/100ths, okay? All right, keep working. You're doing great. I'm proud of you. Miss you guys.